Hi, you guys. Let's talk about writing and evaluating expressions today. Okay, so take a look at this chart. This is really important. I want you to put an addition sign, a subtraction sign, a multiplication sign, and a division sign. And then these are all the words that would help us or tell us to add. Plus, the sum of, increased by, total, more than, and added to. Now, you know with addition, order doesn't matter. I mean, 5 plus 2 is the same as 2 plus 5. But in subtraction, order matters. So do me a favor with your red. I want you to put a star after fewer than. Put a star. Underline than and put a star. Less than. Put a star. Subtracted from. Put a star. And I want you to put, with your red, put a star and says changes the order. And I'll show you what we're talking about when we do some examples. Now multiplication, times, the product of, multiplied by, of, those, the order doesn't matter because, 3 times 4 is the same as 4 times 3. But in division, order matters. So with your red, put a red star and add the word into and put a star. That's going to change the order. Okay, so example 1, translating verbal phrases. So they gave us the sum of 8 and a number. Well, the sum, underline the word sum, and then I'm going to use my red and put an arrow by and, because everybody knows that the sum means to add, but the plus sign doesn't go right here under the word sum. It actually goes under the word and. And then in addition, the order doesn't matter, and so I'm not going to change the order. So the 8 comes first, then there's the plus, and then a number I don't know, that would be my variable, in this case n. So it would just be 8 plus n. Take a look at the next one, the difference of 24 and a number. Well, again, people should know that difference means subtract, but we don't put the minus sign under the word difference. It actually goes here under the word and. Put a minus sign. Now, the difference does not change the order. So the first thing I see is 24. I write that first. And then the last thing I see is a number, and that's my variable. So this would translate to 24 minus n. And I put that right over here. Now, the next one, they gave us 5 and then right next to n. That means 5 times n. Well, the word that means multiply is product. So this is the product of 5 and a number. So again, put the word product and then draw your red rainbow and let it come here. This is where the multiplication sign goes, right under the word and. And then drop the 5 down, drop the n down. Now you know in algebra, 5 times n, I could just squeeze them together to be 5n. Okay, and then take a look at the quotient of 35 and a number. Well, quotient means to divide, but we don't put the division sign here. It goes under the word and. You'll see the division sign, and that does not change the order. So I put the 35 first, the variable second. So I can write it as 35 divided by n, or better yet, I can make it look like a fraction, 35 divided by n. Okay, and then this 2/3 times n would be 2/3, I just wrote it as words, of a number. So 2/3 looks like the fraction, 2/3, of means multiply, and a number is the n. Okay, so now look at number 1. A number decreased by 16. Well, with your red, underline decreased by. That's what's telling us to subtract. So right underneath there I put subtract. And decreased by does not change the order. So I just drop the n down first and the 16 down last. So it's just n minus 16. Okay, look at number 2, 72 divided by a number. So I underline divided by, that tells me the operation, so I put the division symbol right here, and that does not change the order. So I drop the 72 first, the n last. So it's 72 divided by n, or I can make it look like a fraction, 72 over n. Okay, let's talk about example 2, writing an algebraic expression. You are taking a bike trip. After riding 8 miles, you change your speed to 12 miles per hour. A. Write an expression for the total distance after traveling for t hours at 12 miles per hour. B. What is the total distance if you travel for 2 hours at 12 miles per hour? Okay, solution. A. Write a verbal model. So the original distance that we traveled was 8, plus our speed was 12 miles per hour, times our time was just t. So our expression would be 8 plus 12t. That my students started calling the algebra answer because it had a variable in it. And then for part B, we just substitute for t to find the total distance traveled. So they just want us to plug the 2 hours in. So it's 8 plus 12 times 2. So that I have to do the multiplying before I add, so that gives me 24. And then 8 plus 24 would give me 32 miles. And that's our number answer because we don't have a variable anymore.